I'm Michelle Ladd with the National Veterans Television Network. I'm here at the National Veterans Foundation office to talk to a veteran about his combat experience and his post-war reintegration into civilian life. I'll be speaking with Mr. Freddy Cordoba, who was airborne infantry with the 82nd Airborne Division in Iraq, 4 deployments between 2004 and 2008. Freddie, hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Freddie, tell me, where did you grow up? What was that like, and what made you decide to join the military?
Well, I'm the youngest of 9. I have 7 sisters. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Born and raised, grew up here. Loved it. I enlisted shortly, the next day after Bush said that we're sending troops over to Iraq. And the rest is history. I wanted to be a grunt as far back as I can remember. I was 20 years old when I enlisted. I was part-time, working part-time, going to school full-time, Santa Monica City College, working at AutoZone, and dating, girl I had been for a few years, and I left it off because I just felt like going. I felt like I listened to the speech, and it just felt like I had to. It felt like, hey, my country's calling.
So what did you tell the recruiter when you went in?
I walked in and I told him, hey, I heard we're declaring war. I want to get out to the front as soon as I can. He literally looked at me and said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to fight. I want to be a grunt. And he turned me away. He literally told me, pick a trade, pick something you can use when you get back. I kind of said, no, I want to be a grunt. And sure enough, the very next day, got a hold of me.
So you knew there was a war. You volunteered for airborne infantry, and you knew you were going to see action. What was that like?
I just knew that I was going to fight. This is what I trained for. This is what I was expecting. And one thing that stood out was my squad leader said, "Hey, you're already dead. Get used to it. Get over it. You'll be able to drive on." And that's exactly how I felt. To me, it's like I made my peace with God. I'm here. I said I would do this, and here I am. No shit, there it was.
Getting the job done, yeah. How frequent and how intense were your encounters with the enemy? I mean, what sort of assignments were you given?
From the very get-go, every deployment was different. The first few deployments were rules of engagement were very, hey, it's a war, kill them all. I was airborne infantry, the 82nd Airborne, so for the most part, we did a lot of raids. We conducted a lot of killer capture missions. We did a lot of cordon and searches. We did a lot of missions to disrupt enemy activity, insurgency activity in the cities. I was stationed in Baghdad. We did a lot of missions to disrupt mortar attacks, because that's one of the things they want to protect the big bases, the FOBs, the green zone. So we did a lot of missions around Baghdad that would stop mortar attacks. Basically, instead of saying, hey, don't mortar them, come shoot at us, type missions. And that was pretty constant. My first deployment, minutes after leaving the wire, it was shoot 'em up, bang, bang. It was bullets are flying, people are shooting at us, which is kind of crazy because we were in the back of a LMTV. It's a big truck with just up armor on the sides, but we're all underneath, sticking our heads out. And I remember seeing my platoon sergeant get up and yell out, 6 o'clock, 200 meters. Everybody started engaging, and I was shooting. And from that point on, it was every deployment after that seemed like a continuation of the first. No matter if the combat varied, because it did. The first combat was shoot 'em up, bang, bang. The second deployment was like, okay, we're here to take the city of Talafar. First few days again, just walking into literally walked, because we walked the entire city, clearing the city. You engaged pockets of insurgents, then it would die down. Get hit by a suicide bomber one day, it'd be, okay for a few days. Yeah, everything varied.
So you had 4 deployments in 4 years, which is just phenomenal to me. How did that work? How long were your deployments?
I was a paratrooper, so all of my first few deployments were 4 to 6 months. My last deployment was 15 months. It was a surge in of 07 to March of '08.
Freddie, what was the biggest post-combat obstacle you faced? Was it anger, drugs, problems with family and friends, hypervigilance, all these things that we hear about? What did you find?
When I finally got out, it was I didn't want to socialize. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to, I didn't want to be exposed to, I guess, everyone's stupidity. It was a little bit of that. It was I wouldn't call it hypervigilance. You're constantly looking over your shoulder. You're constantly aware of who might be a threat, and thinking about it now, it's more like paranoia, because it's like, that guy over there, yeah, he's threatening. But why would he threaten anybody? It's something that's a train of thought that that I have, that I'm not alone, and a lot of us have it. It's like, okay, he might give me a problem, he might give me a problem. You kind of, you break down the room, you break down the scenario, and it's like, I remember going to City Walk with my girlfriend at the time, my wife, who's my girlfriend at the time, and just looking at people and staring, and it's like, man, if that guy had a bomb of a suicide vest on right now, he'd fuck this place up. And it reminds you of settings, excuse my language, but it reminds me of suicide bombings in Iraq, in Baghdad, in Tal Afar, in Mosul. You can see the crowded area, and then you can visualize, what would happen if a suicide vest went on right here. Not too many people think like that, and it's one of those thoughts, or not memories, but you can see it happening.
Did you find yourself wanting to escape, or wanting to find an escape from those memories?
I don't know if I'd call it an escape, but I'm very fortunate that I don't remember too much. I mean, I have 4 deployments. I've experienced 2 IED blasts, and I've experienced a RPG attack. So the fact that I don't remember a lot of stuff is kind of a blessing in disguise, because I sit and I talk, whether it be over the phone or in front of a computer, with guys I served with, and we start sharing stories, and I don't remember that, and then I'll share stories and they don't remember them. And it's one of those things where, like, wow, I wish we would have written it down, because there's so much information that I just don't remember.
So, Freddie, I know you have children, and all boys. So when they're 18 or older and want to enlist, what will you say to them, or what do you say to them now?
I'm all for it. Enlist, do 3 years, get college paid for. You can't beat it. And again, if you don't, because this is what I encountered, if you don't have values growing up, if they're not installed in you by your parents, the Army installs them for you. And if you do grow up with values, with loyalty, with duty, with respect, selfless service, if you grow up like that, if your parents install that in you, it's redefined in you in the military. You become a greater NCO, a greater leader, a greater example. But will I tell them to join? I tell them to go big, go to the infantry, Ranger unit, SF, Navy SEALs, pararescue, because that's where you're gonna find the people that want to be there are there. The people that want to train hard, the people that want to make not necessarily a career, but the people that want to get the most out of the military, out of their training, are the ones that are going to go hard.
Well, Freddie, I just want to thank you for talking to us. Thank you especially for your service, and just say from all of us, welcome home. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.